Good morning, everyone. I am Angel May Ragoro, BE Ad 2A. So today we are going to explore one of the most interesting topic in P6. So to make our lesson more exciting and easier to understand, we will use an interactive learning tool called Phet simulations. So first, is hanapin natin yung Google natin. Ito yung Then, search natin yung Phet simulation. At ito na yung link. So, ang gagawin lang natin is i-click ito. So, as you can see, interactive simulation for science and math. So, as we scroll down, makita natin yung different branches of science like physics, chemistry, earth and space, biology, and also makita din natin ang math and statistics. So, through this, magagamit natin sila sa ating discussions like click natin yung chemistry. So as you can see, after nating i-click ang chemistry, here makita natin yung iba't ibang topic. So, membrane transport, quantum coin toss, quantum measurement. So, madami pa ito. So, all you have to do is just to click sa topic na gusto mong i-discuss. But today, we are going to explore in the P6. So, back lang natin. So, here, after na maback natin is click natin yung P6. So here, as you can see, there are lots of topics. But today, our simulation is called forces and motion basics. So, gagawin natin para easy lang natin mahanap is just to click here and search lang natin. Forces. Ito, forces and motion basics. So now, ang gagawin natin is click to play. Wait lang tayo for a few seconds and the simulation will load on our screen. As you can see, there are 4 tabs: net force, motion, friction, and acceleration. But today we are going to start sa net force so we can understand the basic. So, click lang natin yung net tabs and here makikita natin yung object at saka yung person. So, let's try to experiment or let's try to make this object move. So, check lang natin lahat to. So as gagawin na natin yung balance yung tao na ating gagamitin. So let's start. So as you can see, hindi siya nag-move kasi balance sila. So no movement happened because ang force na ginagamit nila is balance. So the object hindi talaga siya nag-move. So let's try to unbalance the person na ginagamit natin. So, malaki yung blue at saka maliit yung red. So, let's try this. So, as you can see, mabilis na na-pull yung blue ang object because unbalanced ang kanilang force na ginagamit kasi maliit yung person na red. Kaya mas mataas yung force na ginagamit ng blue. So now let's try in the motion. Let's try to pull some object. So, iti-check lang natin ito lahat para makita natin yung mass or yung kabugaton na ipupul ng person. So, as you can see, nakita natin yung orange na arrow. So, it shows the applied force or it shows na yung ginagamit na or gaano kalakas ang ginagamit na force ng nagpupush. Now, let's try to push object. Let's try to push object harder. So, what do you see? The object move faster and farther. So, it means that when we increase the force, the speed of object increases. So, next is, let's try to push it a little and then stop. So, let's observe anong mangyayari. So, kaunti lang. So what happened? As you can see, the object slowed down and eventually stopped moving. So, stop din yan mamaya. So, why did that happen? It happened because of frictions. Friction is the force that resists motion. It always acts in the opposite directions of movement. So, if we stop pushing, friction keep working until the object comes to stop. This is something we also experience in real life. For example, when we push a toy car on the floor, so, di ba, nung bata tayo is na-try natin yan. It moves for a while, then slow down and stops. That the friction work. Now, let's make the things more interesting. So, let's click the friction. So, as you can see, makita natin yung graph na. So, check lang natin ito. So, as you can see, makita natin yung higher object and lighter object and heavier object. So, try natin i-pull yung lighter object, which is ang girl, 40 kg lang. So now i-pull natin yung girl. So 500 Newton yung applied force natin. So as you can see, you see a slider level frictions, move it from low to high. So, let's try pushing object again and observe. So, di ba, when a friction is low, like an ice, yung floor like an ice na ating ipupush yung object, the object move easily and slide farther. But when the friction is high, like a carpet or hindi siya katulad ng ice, the object barely moves or stop quickly. So, madali lang siyang ma-stop and also hindi siya madali na ipa-move. Hindi katulad ng floor like ice na it easier to move and it slides farther. So, this helps us understand that friction can be both helpful and unhelpful. Helpful when we walk, so di tayo madaling ma-slides. Unhelpful when it slow down machines or moving objects. So now, let's move on the acceleration tab. So as you can see, click lang yung acceleration tabs. Here you see how the mass of the object affect motion. So, check lang natin to lahat. So now, let's try to choose a lighter object. So, makikita naman natin yung lighter object, di ba? So, ang lighter object dito is yung girl. So, let's put the girl here and let's try to push the girl in the gamit natin yung 300 Newton. So, now, gagawin natin is maghanap din tayo ng heavier object like refrigerator. And apply din natin yung same amount of force na ginamit natin sa lighter object nga girl, like 300 Newton man to ginagamit. 300 Newton. 307 Newton. So hindi siya so 400 ang gagamitin natin. So as you can see, hindi siya nag-move ang refrigerator. So it means that the lighter object move faster and easier, while the heavier one is harder to move. So try natin yung 500 Newton. So, di ba, even 500 Newton is hindi din madali na i-push yung refrigerator. Hindi katulad ng lighter object like girl na 307 Newton lang ang ginagamit, applied force natin na ginagamit. Pero, madali lang siyang na-move. So, that because heavier object need more force to accelerate. This is explained by Newton's second law of motions. So, finally, here you can see examples of balanced and unbalanced forces. When the forces are unbalanced, the object stays still. So, napakita naman natin to kanina, di ba? Walang movement na nangyayari. But when forces are unbalanced, the object moves in the direction of the stronger force. So, na-try natin to kanina na the blue one is the big and the small is the red. So, unbalanced sila. So, as you can see, the object moves in the direction of the strong force. This perfectly demonstrates that Newton's first law of motion, can object at rest stays at rest, and object in motion stay in motions unless act upon by an external force. So, now let's summarize what we observed in the simulation. Diba? First, force cause motions. When we push or pull an object, it moves because of the applied force, and it slows down moving object and prevent them from sliding. So the heavier object requires more force than the lighter one. It moves easily. Like example for this is the refrigerator, 200 kg. So ang applied force is 500 Newton. So hindi pa rin siya masyadong na-push. But kanina na-try natin ito sa girl. So 307 Newton lang yung ginamit natin, pero madali lang siyang na-push. So, the balance force has no movement or don't have movement, where the unbalanced force causes movement and change in speed directions. So, this simulation shows Newton's law of motion in a simple and visual way, helping us understand how forces work in everyday life. So this simulation, it's so very helpful for the students and to the teacher. So a force is any push or pull that can change an object motions. Friction always acts in the opposite direction of motions. The mass of an object affects how easily it can move. So, the balanced forces keep objects still, while unbalanced force make them move. So, the Phet simulations help us see this invisible force in actions, making physics more fun and understandable. It's like having a laboratory rides on your computer, safe, interactive, and exciting. So, that's all for today. I hope you learned something. Thank you.